Hello everyone, in this video I show you how to introduce to Java programming language and Netbeans IDE tools for programming. I will create a simple application to introduce you to use Netbeans IDE. You can visit us on this web page. Let's start with what the application really is. Each application has its own task. So in order for a programmer to solve this task, he writes through instructions in a programming language, the execution of which solve the set task that the application should do. We could make comparison with a task that has nothing to do with software. So for any task is nature that needs to be done, programmer is actually the one who devises what is needed. That is all the sample action that need to be done. That is for someone to do it in order to solve that problem or task. The only thing is that in nature this problem is solved by man himself or some machine or someone else. While in programming language, the one who solves those tasks is actually the processor. The programmer writes instruction for the processor. However, the processor only understands a series of numbers, so-called machine language consisting of a series of numbers in binary form. So, will a programmer write a series of numbers in binary form? Will that program look like that? Of course not. So any programming language actually looks like English. The sentences are unambiguous. Now, in order for the processor to execute that program, that string of instructions must have something that will translate those instructions to array of numbers that is into machine language. That connection is in fact a compiler and an interpreter, or both. In Java you have the case of both. The difference between a compiler and an interpreter is only in the way the translation is done. It is actually a program, a utility that you run in some development environment in which you write or develop your application. You write or develop your application. The compiler translates all your code at once. So when you write the source code, you save the file and it has the extension .java. When you run compiler, this code will be translated. In Java, it translates to temporary bytecode, meaning something that is not yet this machine language. And then when the program starts, the interpreter starts, which now that instruction, that is that byte of code, is translated into machine language. But the interpreter translates the instructions one by one. And then before the second instruction is translated, the first one must be translated and executed. The Java programming language, for example, is suitable because it is platform independent. You can write code on Windows and then use it on another operating system. So it's multi-platform. This is one of the advantages of Java. The question is what is needed to write a sample program in Java? Development environment that helps you is not really necessary. It is enough to have a text editor installed where you will type the code. You must have the Java platform installed to be able to write a Java program, the so-called Java Jdk, Java Development Kit, and some of the programming tools that help you develop your application, but it is not required. What is Java Jdk? It is a platform that contains software that is the tools we need to compile, to debug, run applets and applications written in Java programming language. It also contains a library of built-in classes that you can use in your program, abbreviated as API, Application Programming Interface. Here we have checked if Java is installed on this machine. Go to the search bar and type cmd to launch the command prompt. Run command prompt. And now to check if Java is installed, type like this, Java minus minus version, and then press enter. If it is installed as it is installed with me, for example, it will say which version, Java 11.2 in my case. If it says he can't find it, that it doesn't. You can also check for Netbeans. Now find the Netbeans icon. It's this gray cube. Double click it to run the programming tool. When you get a new task to work on, you actually need to create a new project. Project may have multiple files in it. As simple as the task you are doing is, you will make one package first, and then you will put one file in that package. The purpose of the packages you create is to group your files, which you create within the project in a logical way. That makes sense if it's a big project. Let's say you have 100 files. It is very difficult to manage when you have 100 files. Is that so? Now you can group them. You say this: I use part of the files to draw graphics, and I will put that in one package. Part of those files that are used for the calculation as some business logic, I will put it in another package. And if you have some communication with, say, database, put those files in the third package. Let's solve the task first, the simplest possible, to introduce you to this development environment, to write simple text on the screen. So the first thing we have to do is create a new project. At the top you have a palette with commands. You see these commands: file, edit, view. You have it in most programs. It means what applies to files, editing, viewing, and so on. I will slowly introduce you to those commands. Then below that you have a palette of the most commonly used commands. Let's say you also have a new file. We need a new project. So click, for example, on the yellow folder. When you start, i.e. click for a new project, again you have to answer a few questions to create a project initially. The first question you answer is which category does your project belong to. You need to choose Java, and from these offered templates, see here you have 4 templates. Choose Java application and go to next. Click the next button. In the second step you should give the name of the project, but you should also say where its location will be. We'll create the location first, this second field. You can see current location in this field. That's probably not what you want. You need to put it in your folder that you created today. To get to that folder of yours, click on the browse button and find that folder of yours. Select it and then click open. And when that mini file explorer that started is closed, check the path. Is that the path to your folder? When this guide that leads you to create the project is completed, the project folder will be created with the name you will give here for the project name. And let's say for this task we will give the name display text. Right click me, merge the capital letters. See here where create main class is checked. If you leave checked, the program will automatically create a package and the first file for you. So it makes your job easier. If you want to do it yourself, then turn it off. To speed up the process a bit now, leave it checked and click on finish. If you started Netbeans for the first time, this project tab will probably be empty. This means that you do not have any project created. I have a lot, look here. Each of these coffee cup is a project. I can close them, I mean unnecessary projects. I don't need to delete them, I just need to close them so they can be seen. Then means, if necessary, I can remove to open an existing project. And when I create a new project, it will appear as an additional coffee cup. Find at the left in the project tab that project of yours that have we now created. Display text, here it is with me. Already some files and folders are inserted inside. You have a plus here, it means you can expand. Note that you have two subfolders inside, source package and libraries. Libraries include some additional libraries that you need for the project. And what you make is stored in the source package. There you already have one package made called TextView, and one file created and a file extension. Double click to see the contents of the file. And then the contents of the file will appear on the right in this main part. Probably the project has already done it automatically.
Right.
I'm going to zoom it a little bit now so you can follow. Here you have more tabs: project, file, service. The project tab may not be open. For example, let's say this card. Just click on tab and the project tab will open. Secondly, it may happen that some of these palettes should be found open by default are not open, and you can open it by clicking on the window menu. You have a window in the top menu, so you can open what you need. For example, output. This is the space below where the result will be displayed. It can happen to be close. Then you click on output simply, and here it will open. What is in this file of yours? This project will have only one file. What do you see in this file of yours? First, you see the comments. How to write a comment in Java? If the comment is from to, you have a beginning and an end. Let's say you see this one here. This gray, these are comments. So the beginning is a slash and asterisk, and the end of the comment is an asterisk, a slash. Everything in between you write is a comment. What would happen if I deleted this end of the comment, for example? Look at this now. It can happen. There is a cursor for you. Or let's say you click a button. You didn't want that to look now. It all turned gray down below. Let's say I will delete the end of the comment here. Look, there's an error here now. The program thinks this is all still comment. Only then you solve it by closing the comment. Here's the star. The slash closes this comment. I will close this second one here. It means like this star slash. The next thing you see here in one line is package, and then the name of the package. This is the information in which package this file is located. You can see that here too. This file is in the text view package. It says so here too. So it has to be harmonized. The following is the structure of the code written here, and the structure is as follows. Inside the file you have the class first. This is the title line of class consisting of a few words. Official word class. I will not explain this. Then the name of that class and body. The class contains some code within it, i.e. in itself. That is, we say in the body of the class, and it is present with curly braces. An open parenthesis indicates where the code begins, and the closed one indicates the end of the code that belongs to the class. Second, each open parenthesis must have its own closed one. Look at this yellow that appeared when I clicked the mouse here. Pair of brackets yellow tell where the beginning and the end of the whole are. There are two more brackets inside here. Here this and this are a couple, but when I click on this I see which one is with that bracket. Now, what is inside the class? Within the class are functions or methods. This is the title line of the method, so title line methods and body methods. There are commands in the body of the method. Here is another comment. This is the comment you see here, which tell you where to start writing code. Here we have a single command, the print command. And now I'm going to show you a shortcut on how to write that command quickly. Type as follows. Lowercase south and press tab key. The system.out on println command should be stretched. Otherwise, this south is an abbreviation of system.out. What's happening here? I will not explain this now what system.out is. Println, this very word says in translation print. And you call the printing method, and in small brackets you pass that method to the text as a parameter. Out is a space, output actually, it's this rectangle below. That's where he needs to write me a text. What text? Well, the one I sent in parentheses. I've just finished the source code, let's save that. The file in which this is saved. Pay attention only to the following. See the name of this class, text display, right? The file name must be identical. See file name above. Text display, right? The file name must be identical. See file name above. Text display has only .java extension. So if I change the class name, I would have to change the file name at the same time. Well, it has to be the same. Now I'm starting a compilation. To start compiling a program, this hammer, one or the other, all the same. The program is being translated, errors are being checked along the way. Are there any syntax error? See the report in this output below. If all is well, it will say build successful. And translation time. It is colored green, so there is no errors. in case there was an error. Here I will of course make error now, so you can see. For example, I forget to put semicolon at the end. Here I will delete the semicolon. Look now. The program underlined me red. When I get my mouse here, this tool tried to suggest me what the error is, and in English it says semicolon expected. So I know from that that I need to put a semicolon here. I need to run the compiler again. So as soon as I make a change to the program, you have to translate it again. And now there are no errors. Build successful. Now is programmed to ready for testing. So an executive version was made. The source code is what I first saved with the .java extension. When I start build, new file were created, i.e. one file called the same, text display, but will have the extension .class. To test this application of mine, I will click on the Run button, Run project. It's this green row, and here the program is running. The text I put to print is printed down here.